You may not know this, but your home is full of decorative art. And today, we're gonna look at art objects that originated in someone's home. Is it handmade? Does it tell us something special about history or the people and places where it was made? And what's artistic or special about the object? Hi, my name is Lauren Cross, and I am a curator of American Decorative Arts at the Huntington. Here at the Huntington, we have over 45,000 objects, many of which are decorative arts objects. The decorative arts is a field about the everyday things. It's the creative, the art of the everyday. So let's get started. Now I am standing in front of this beautiful hooked rug, which was made in Maine and is handmade. You can tell by the very loose details of the floral designs that you see. A more machine-made rug would be very detailed, a lot of very defined lines. In this particular folk tradition, the beauty in it is that you're able to, to be very expressive and impressionistic. And this really originated in Maine. It was a folk tradition that really took from the local community materials that were manufactured there, yarn and wools, and women could create something new out of them. And when husbands were out at sea, many women would spend time actually making rugs and spending time with other women. Floral designs were particularly popular in the 19th century when this tradition really began and kind of started to thrive. So we're really seeing designs that are very specific to this region in Maine, and this interest in bringing beauty into one's home. It's very similar to other textile traditions like quilting, weaving. It was a sort of everyday folk tradition. And then by the 20th century, as you have more kind of industrial revolution happening, and you kind of have a shift in handmade objects, and you have more machine-made rugs. Later in the 70s, there was a little bit of a revival of the hooked rug tradition, which is different than other types of art making. It really is about taking what you have and making something with it. And now we're going to take a look at another object and see what makes it decorative arts. In England, the Windsor chair was used mostly to sit outside in gardens, but in America, we actually brought the chair inside, so it actually became more of an interior object versus an outdoor object. In this gallery, we have various different representations of Windsor chairs. We have earlier styles, more kind of sturdier high backs, and very intricate details. In this kind of birdcage style, we call it a square back. So it's meant to be where you can kind of lean back a little bit more. And it's kind of looking towards even earlier traditions, even those going back to England. So it's interesting that even within one particular object, you have so many different variations. Many of these chairs, they taper out, and that was particularly a tradition, an American tradition. You can see in this particular chair, it's kind of going straight. That's kind of leaning back earlier to England. So each maker is going to kind of give their interpretation on the tradition and make it their own. In the English tradition, oftentimes the colors might be green or lighter colors because they were often outside. Once we brought the Windsor chairs to America, you see that the designs become darker. Sometimes for some people, it may look like the chair that was at your grandmother or your grandpa's house or their favorite chair. And that's probably for a reason. And so they bring back those memories of places that you may have gone. You may have inherited a chair that looks like this, and We know that Windsor chairs are very specific to these spindles. So if you see these spindles on the back, you know you're dealing with a type of Windsor chair. There's so many Windsor chair kind of reproductions that we can enjoy today. So whether or not you have a 19th century Windsor chair or you have one that was made yesterday, the idea is to embrace and enjoy the tradition. And now we will look at our final object and see what makes it decorative arts. We're standing in front of this beautiful and amazing Tulip Popular Cabinet made by Birdcliff Arts Colony, which was a utopian arts community in upstate New York. It was founded by Ralph Radcliffe Whitehead and his wife to really think about how to bring the arts and crafts movement from Europe, particularly in Britain, to America. And this particular design was created by Edna Walker. And oftentimes, Edna Walker and other artists would find inspiration from nature of plants that were actually planted in that area. So this tulip popular plant was actually very common within that part of upstate New York. And we actually have one of the original drawings from Edna Walker of sort of the making of this cabinet. You know, look at these intricate designs, the carvings. You know, when you look really closely, you can really see that kind of handmade quality. You have the craftsman, you have Edna Walker, the designer. They're all living in this arts colony, in nature, you know, and enjoying that experience. They're being provided free housing, which is, you know, allows you to really focus on the art, right? And to think about what's really beautiful around you and how you can interpret that in new ways. Even though Birdcliff Colony was sort of short-lived, you know, there's only about 50 or so objects that, you know, were salvaged. So like to have this particular cabinet in such good condition, you just can't get anything better than this. It just allows you to really celebrate its artistry, you know, from the object to its source. So now that you've had a chance to look at some amazing decorative arts objects from our collection, and you've learned about how to understand whether it's handmade, whether it's historically relevant or artistic in quality, you can take those principles with you to interpret other works of art within the collection, or when you're going to the furniture store to find your next item for your home.